Good afternoon. This is Monica Leek. I am the author of No More Hashtags Remembrance and Reflections, as well as No More Hashtags Who You Calling. And so we're here for a special edition of 3 Points and a Poem, where scripture meets creativity through poetic verse. So we're celebrating our freedom with a special Juneteenth edition of 3 Points and a Poem. So I'm going to share this verse from Galatians chapter 5:1. It says, "Stand fast, therefore, in the liberty by which Christ has made us free, and do not be entangled again with the yoke of bondage." So here are your 3 points from Galatians 5:1 for this Juneteenth. 1, have a sure footing in who you are called to be, because you are called to be free and not to be bound by anything or anyone. You're called to be bound to Christ, and he has called you to freedom. All right. So 1, have your footing sure in who you are called to be. 2, all right. Second point 2, keep your footing. Do not be moved, for Christ has made you free, and whom the Son has set free is free indeed. That was 2. And then your point 3, don't get caught up into those things that once had you bound, those things that tethered you, that tied you and kept you from moving forward and making the progress you wanted to see happening in your life. Don't get caught up and let those things keep you from walking in your full freedom. So those are your 3 points coming from Galatians 5:1 on this happy Juneteenth celebration. So here are some poems to inspire, empower, and encourage us as we celebrate this Juneteenth occasion. So this first piece is called From Chains to Change. From Chains to Change. Chains. It was 1619 when the first slaves arrived on American shores, to be stripped of language, separated from kin, to be bound and seen no more. Yet with moaning, groaning, and spirituals, we communicated our pains. Many would run to break free, only to be captured in chains, to be whipped and beaten before community with tear-filled eyes, to be made an example of if any further thought of freedom would rise. Chains to physically bind hands and feet, branded like cattle, no longer human to be seen. Chains meant to transcend from the body, to control the mind, to forget the lives of freedom left behind. Chains, chained by emotions from within that would pit us against each other on the basis of lightness to darkness of skin, ignoring the beauty and the reflection of God's divine image through his sight. Changed in thinking that once moved up and out the hood, we'd arrived. But we're quickly made aware with looks and stares that to this neighborhood we don't belong, when Black living and breathing is seen as wrong. Chained by a mentality of spending money on name brands we think are best, neglecting and failure to support our own, and being wise and invest. Chained to think others' services and products are better. What if we spent dollars in our community and pooled our resources together? Chains. From slavery to freedmen only took a little over 200 years. Night rides, burning crosses, and lynchings used to instill fear. From Civil War to civil rights, the quest for freedom would wage on. Little over 50 years later, with modern day lynches, and yet feeling butte and scorn. Stories momentarily trending in social media with hashtags rest in peace. Loud are the voices of protesters demanding justice and taking a knee for change. Our demands will not be met through protest alone. We must take to the mountains of influence, and with a strategy put forth legislation. We speak to families, healing for the hearts of those who've suffered loss of daughters, loss of sons, Taisha Miller, Kendra James, Abner Louima, lives ended with no reason, no cause. To the houses of worship and faith, we admonish you to cry aloud. You can no longer sit comfortable behind stained glass and pews. The message of hope, love, faith is needed now. This message can break the chains. Let hope arise and usher in the needed change. From entry level to an office in the executive suite, our giftings have made room, only to have doors slammed in our faces because you said the time to diversify was too soon. Late nights, witty inventions, and creative ideas and concepts continue to work and flow for you to take credit as if all the work was your own. Yet in this set time, many now have come to realize building brands and establishing legacy, which has caused entrepreneurship to rise, breaking chains. From curriculum developer to policymaker, voices used to make needs known, to voter registration, campaigning, phone banks, and canvassing, going from home to home, communicating our ideas and the strength of our platform. We have studied, planned, and prepared to take politics by storm because we're tired of dying and being blatantly lynched by police. Minds are coming together to implement strategy and change policy, breaking chains. From generations before, they saw education as the way. What you learned once grasped and applied would stay. Once in segregated classrooms, we got the hand-me-downs, and the noise of the powers that be drowned out the equity sounds. Our Black colleges and universities struggle to survive, while our counterparts with endowments and more state funding continue to thrive. Develop curriculum instruction to meet the needs at every level, and create new streams of income so our institutions are dependent on others for survival. Breaking chains. 24/7, we wake up to notifications, scrolling and watching our feed. Streaming podcasts, music, and videos for all of our information and social needs. We're plugged into reality TV, binge watch our favorite shows, all forms of media claiming our attention by our ability to discern truth only God knows. Some have offered and launched new platforms, but we hesitate to shift to the unknown, not realizing money is yet being made off our backs, even without chains in view. This is a call to the Creator to reclaim and revive giftings anew. We can no longer sit idle and let others tell our stories. We must narrate our own truth. Breaking chains. To the singer, the dancer, the musician, the actor of the performing arts, nobody understands the struggle to break into a business competing for limited parts, just wanting to use your gifts and share them with the world, too often met with disappointment that without hope rising becomes a dream deferred. We often neglect what's around us in the visual arts that help us see. We see the joy, struggle, hope, and pain on murals, sidewalks, train stations, and if blessed in galleries. Can we form a think tank, a collective, to create opportunities through expressive avenues? We don't have to wait on anyone else. Seek direction, let wisdom flow through you. Breaking chains. From strange fruit on southern trees to bodies left dead by police brutality, we cry for justice to flow like a river and righteousness like a stream. For change. Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, George Floyd, Rekia Boyd, Sandra Bland, Eric Garner, Michael Brown Jr. We remember, reflect, and say their names in hopes that one day we will truly be free and move from chains to change. All right, so that was Chains to Change, and we definitely encourage you. I believe that's I think it's in the latest one, in Who You Callin'. Then we'll share two more pieces, and we'll call it an afternoon, maybe. And this piece is called When They See Us, kind of after the story that broke about the five guys, and then the documentary that came out about the five guys and the situation in New York. All right, when they see us. When they see us, they do not see human, they see slave. Only 3/5, something that has yet to be reckoned and changed. When they see us, they robe in white sheets as Christian knights. They don't recognize our personhood or honor our civil rights. When they see us, all shades of black and brown, have no knowledge of our royal heritage and how we yet wear our crowns. When they see us, they feel themselves superior. Run-down homes, low-performance schools, and crime to show us inferior. When they see us, they roll up their windows and grab their purses, expecting fighting and yelling and nothing but curses. When they see us, they don't see those worthy of the American dream, just good enough to be drivers and domestics, cooking, cleaning, and getting their things. They see us as sources of entertainment, moneymakers for their events and venues. Yet we're the ones playing the race card when we call out their privilege misuse. See, we can't hang with our friends in the streets in groups of 3, 4, or 5. Nah, because New York cops be doing sweeps. Have you plastered to the car, street, or pavement as you fight tears from coming to your eyes. Innocent until proven guilty, and they say justice is blind. Yet for 5 young kids in Central Park, justice saw them with eyes open wide, because when they see us as a full-grown threat, quickly charged as adults, even though a minor. Yet, criminalized from the moment of birth just for the black-brown bodysuit we're wrapped in, and justice supported by these so-called Bible Belt-believing politicians. Now, what's the greatest sin? No concern about these boys being minor, just coerce a confession without parental presence or permission. We know the balance this system leans towards. When they see us, we all look alike. We all act and think the same. One homogeneous, ignorant, lazy group of welfare recipients, but can't call every black celebrity by name. See, when they see us, the court of public opinion presides. No way you can get a fair trial, just look at the box on the jury side. When they see us, they only hear their voice is true. No matter other support and testimony, they side with the liars in blue. When they see us, we are tried as full grown. Yet when the truth comes out, settlement made church mouse silence is full blown. Doesn't matter what these kids got robbed, cheated out of precious time of life in their youth, athletics, academics, proms, relationships, and time with family and friends like all teens do. Yeah, they see us no doubt as pawns in their game of roulette, can say and do anything to a person of color with no hate crime attributed or punishment. When they see us, their fragility makes them the victim time after time. Yet when accused, it becomes persons of color taking the heat for their crimes. But you can't backpedal the narrative you choose to portray. Young boys as thugs and rapists in your all-knowing truth investigating way. See, we've done seen your kind many times before. We know your insecurities, how you target people of color. Sorry, not sorry for the loss of the book deal, the University Post, and the spiral of bad news now happening to you. You should have thought of the future as you claim the true narrative as fabricated because the chickens have come home to roost. Say, yes, see us. Yes, see us. See us protest the numbers of power. See us stand against injustice this very hour. See us stand in unity as we see you at squirm and insecurity. We see you raising hands in supremacy. We see you using the N-word and pulling guns. We see you use fear tactics for your candidates' political run. We see you lie, cheat, and cast blame. We see you for your ignorance, finding others to shame. Yeah, we see you. We see you. When you see us next time and you feel threatened and victimized, remember, like sun, moon, and star, we grow strong and will continue to rise. We see you. All right. And we'll wrap up with this last one. And this one is entitled, We Are a People. We are a people. We are a people, a free people, a beautiful people, an intelligent people, a strong people, a resilient people. Owning, connected to a land far as the eyes could see, communicating through story and song their people's history, customs and practices unknown and misunderstood, so deemed primitive by those who consider themselves superior and good. A free people not bound in chains to be transported body to body in ships, bound for a land unknown, to leave a land of liberty to be dehumanized, property owned. Yet it would be these people who survived that transatlantic shift, bringing their language, skills, and customs and being forced to adapt. A beautiful people of all shades and hues, a people gathered across multiple continents, countries, and islands like a well-mixed stew, keepers of tribal traditions, family customs, and historical folklore, that passed down through the generations with truths that would sustain and build legacy despite slavery's justification. An intelligent people who prophetically knew that one day freedom would come. So in preparation for that great day, strategies and plans had already begun. Churches and schools would be built to support a community's faith and education, to lift the veil of ignorance that a people from chains would become their own free nation. A strong people. Burning crosses and lynching mobs would not hinder freedom's timing. Meetings, marches, sit-ins, and boycotts, we just kept steady climbing, breaking barriers across fields of endeavor despite the color of skin. There's not enough pages to contain a list of our people's accomplishments. Even with systems and structures in place to keep people of color in check, with drive and determination, ever looking forward despite the country being built on our backs. A resilient people, having the inner strength to rise, strength to build and rebuild, to restore to even a greater glory, a people, a culture, to shape a nation, to fight for the cause of freedom, a cause of justice, to set trends, to challenge systems, to take down strongholds, to question supposed superiority, once thought unworthy to be called a people, but we are a people of God. We are a people of God. We are a people, a free people, a beautiful people, an intelligent people, a strong people, a resilient people. We are a people. All right, so I hope you had enjoyed those pieces that we were able to share with you on today in celebration of Juneteenth. So we encourage you to go out and check out my books, and you can follow me on Leak Poetry on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for your poetry fix, as well as when you want to see how we can merge our creative with scripture text. And that's what we do here on 3 Points and a Poem. So we merge those ideas and concepts together and bring the scripture and the creative together. So check us out, Leak Poetry on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And definitely you want to check out my books, No More Hashtags, Remembrance and Reflections. And then again, No More Hashtags, Who You Calling? And of course, there are a whole bunch of creative collaborations with Pretty Women Hustle, with Real Women, with the Purpose Pushers publication, as well as some devotionals out there that I had a chance to contribute to. So thanks for joining us on today. So remember to make some comments and share this out. And happy Juneteenth. Hope you enjoyed our poetry. And if you want more of it, follow us on Leak Poetry on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And definitely check out No More Hashtags, Remembrance and Reflections, and No More Hashtag, Who You Are Calling. And we're around the DMV area, but we're definitely sharing our work and poetry, and we're open to doing workshops for our prophetic and poetic voices in a creative platform. So reach out, Emily Poetry on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And thanks for sharing this afternoon with us, and happy Juneteenth.